My boy Blue. Do you know I call you my boy Blue? Did you really know that? You know that?
I do know that.
You do that? Okay,
yeah.
good. I mean, I've made a song after you. I got a lot of nicknames for you because I feel like you're my guy. So thanks for being out here with me, man.
Appreciate you. Well, really you are my guy.
Thanks a lot.
I am your guy. You're my guy too.
All right, good. Thanks, Blue. My boy Blue. See, first thing I want to ask you about, just like growing up, did you dominate Little League sports?
I felt like I did.
You did? That's all right. Don't be bashful. I mean, you're dominating the NFL. You're allowed to say you dominated Pee Wee football and all that.
Yeah, Pee Wee football was fun. I think I was more dominant in like Little League baseball.
Little League baseball?
Swim team, to be honest.
Right. And did you play basketball too?
I did.
Yeah.
But football, I was quarterback. Felt like I was pretty good, but I was always, believe it or not, pretty small.
Were you really?
Yeah.
And when did you become a giant?
Junior, senior year of high school, and then grew a little bit in junior college as well.
So that's when it really picked up.
Yeah.
And then like your arm itself, like pitching baseball, like
Yep.
you did all that, and you always could throw it even when you weren't as big and everything like that. Like always had an arm where you're like, wow, I can throw the ball harder than anybody around.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So baseball, it was pitching. What other position was it?
Pitching, first base. I was actually like my freshman year, I played varsity and they stuck me in right field.
Right.
To throw people out at first.
Right.
So that was kind of part of the gig there. Just like go out there when the ball's thrown or hit to you, just throw it hard, you know?
Yeah, got you. All right, well, like so much made about like, Josh Allen, mechanics coming out, and like inaccuracy and all those type of questions, right? And that's just like the first thing I want to talk to you about just a little bit. Like, since you've come out in college, you haven't changed your grip or anything, right? You're
not
still
the grip, not the grip, not at all.
Till 2 and under 5 like that?
Yep. Just my ring finger there. And so I'm, just here.
Yeah. So you're 2 and under 5. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. There's a very popular grip right now in the NFL. I feel like there's a lot of guys that go 1 on and under.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, like nobody really did that a whole lot. There was
really?
like Elway, Marino, my father, Joe Montana. Those 2 fingers were on the ball.
Gotcha.
So it's like it's just interesting to see like you, and I see Kyler Murray and a lot of guys who do it. But it's just always natural to you to go that way?
And I've never changed my grip. Now, in terms of mechanics, I think
Yeah.
I've gotten drastically different from when I first came out.
Right.
I've tried to turn more into a rotational thrower, and I used to be kind of a
over-the-top
linear
guy?
thrower, right?
Right.
So I'm like throwing off a mound, and you'd look at some pictures in college, and there's sometimes I'm like this.
Yeah, I remember seeing it sometimes.
Yeah.
When did that light bulb go on to like say all of a sudden like, wait, I got to change this and let me be more rotation and around than up and down?
Yeah, it was going into my 3rd year.
Right.
Jordan Palmer, and we have a guy by the name of Chris Hess.
Okay.
He's got a company called Biometric.
Right.
And we digitally mapped my mechanics, and like you do this thing, like you do this warm up, and all of a sudden it connects all your joints, and
you got like that wire,
tell,
and there's like
30% or 30 degrees of angle on your ankle flexion, and
right.
your left knee is stronger than your right knee, and we used some force plates. He did it great, and I think Chris Hess, along with Jordan, after watching that and getting that breakdown of my mechanics, that's when things were like switched, because everything up top was beating everything down low. It was almost like reverse order.
Right.
So as soon as I started learning sequencing, and whether it's the right thing to do or not, I kind of elongated my arm.
Okay.
Which allowed everything else, because I was so quick here.
Right.
It allowed everything else to kind of sequence through.
Gotcha.
And then it's still
more body and less arm. Let the arm follow the body a little bit more.
Yeah, and then we incorporated a little, like every once in a while I do the Aaron Rodgers foot pop.
I see it. I know.
Yeah, so I don't really know why I do that.
Right.
I couldn't tell you the exact reasons, but I feel like when I'm closed on a throw,
yeah.
If I'm throwing to my left and I'm just closed,
right,
that little pop allows me to rotate and get as open as I can be there.
Right, just in case you're in the pocket and you didn't get quite in the right position, but you go, oh God, the guy's open over here. Let me flick it to him, and that's when so that's something you like stole from Rodgers basically a little bit?
Basically. And it was just a thing, like I had seen him do it.
Right.
Watching his game film and stuff like that. And I just started messing around, started messing around in practice one day, and I was like, hey, there's something to this. Like it started coming off really good, and I was like, got me into a position where like everything was going this way.
Right.
Yeah, and it's been working out.
So what about like a little bit more of like any other things you think of? Like I noticed, like, you think about your front shoulder, You know, do you think about anything like that?
Not so much.
Yeah.
I know, like, I'm not as mechanically sound as I'd like to be, but I think that kind of comes in part because I'm doing so much other stuff. I'm moving, I'm getting out of the pocket, I'm throwing from different arm angles. And I think the main takeaway that I have in my own mechanics, like, I feel like I know my mechanics better than anybody, but in my mind I see a little strike zone.
Okay.
Like, there's something right here telling my arm, like, the ball's got to be released here.
Gotcha.
Because, like, when I used to be that linear thrower, like, when I release the ball up here, it's high. When I released a little too late,
it's
the
low.
ball was dying.
Right.
So as I'm getting rotation, if I can continue to release the ball in the same spot, now I got to change my shoulders for a trajectory.
Gotcha.
Right? And I can still go here.
Right.
I can still throw it this way. Like, everything, as long as it's coming out, and I try to stop my hand in this spot right here. And then sometimes, obviously, momentum's still going.
Sure.
But in terms of, like, releasing the ball, I'm trying to be as precise and accurate and, you know, similar every time I throw the ball.
I've heard you talk about it. Yeah, so you really are almost into the, like, where you, like, seeing your hand hit the target, actually.
Yeah, and it's I don't want people to think like I'm aiming the ball. It's
Gotcha.
just like I want to be as consistent as possible with my stroke.
Right.
And when I know where the ball's coming out, like I
Right.
said, that's when I can do this.
Yeah, and you can start changing little angles and yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's funky, but I love it. And Matt Barkley, he's pretty big on mechanics too. So we have some fun talks, and sometimes you know, I think I'm right. Sometimes he thinks he's right. But,
Yeah.
You know, it's great dialogue.
Wait, how long did it take to, like, click where you just like, oh wait, I got it, and like, you know, did you have to, like, go a whole off season of working it became natural, or did it?
Yeah, I actually went to Jordan into my third year.
Right.
I said I want to start incorporating this
Yeah.
little foot pop that Aaron was doing, right? And as I started getting to it, I was just like, all right, well, looking at the biometric stuff, I was like, okay, well, let's get a little longer here, widen my base out a little bit, and just here, like swinging a baseball bat, you know?
Gotcha. Right. And you, like, do you have, like, thought of, like, popping your feet underneath you or anything like that a whole lot?
Not really.
No, I could tell you don't. That's where it's interesting. You're very comfortable almost throwing flat-footed to a degree at times.
Yeah, and that's why, like, in our offense specifically, we've got so many options and different, like, they can break in, they can break out, they can be at 10 yards, they can be at 8 yards.
Right.
And it's a little different than, like, most guys say, I need you at 12 yards on the sideline, the ball's coming out, 3 hitch, go. Like, I'm not like that. I'd rather be, like, sitting here on my back leg.
Right.
You do your job, you get open.
Right.
And when you're open, that's when I'm like,
you're gonna pull the trigger.
I'm just waiting for you, and as soon as I see either break in, that's why, like, I set up to throw left.
Yeah.
And then I adjust to throw right, because I still think in, like, with that thought process and with being a rotational thrower, I can still throw this way from this angle.
Yes.
So setting up left, and if he breaks out, it's still this way.
So you favor left because you know you can get back right so easily and naturally. That's I've never heard anybody say that. That's why you're a freak of nature too, though. Okay. First off, just so everybody knows, the guy made the most unbelievable damn throw in 2-minute drill. Before that, I just went, oh my gosh, and like a few of you people on the sidelines, your little hole shot down the right sideline. Yeah. I mean, there's only like a few guys in the history of football that can make that throw. It's insane. I just had to say that.
Thank you.
All right. Other thing, like, how many times a game do you think you just unleash it and throw it 100% effort, 98% effort? Like,
maybe once or twice a game.
Right.
And it's not the deep go balls. It's like, oh shoot, tight window here. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, and it's almost like those sudden ones where, like, I see the window now, but I know it's closing.
Skinny post,
like,
in cut,
yes,
something like
it's
that.
Usually those in cuts or those curl rats where you're trying to beat 2 defenders squeezing in on them.
Right.
And usually when you're throwing it that hard,
the
ball should probably be going somewhere else.
Right.
Because if that's attracting 2 guys, someone's got to be open.
Yeah. Right. So how long did it does the adjustment to go, okay, I can't squeeze everything in here all the time?
Yeah.
When did that light bulb go to go, okay, like, all right, Wyoming high school, okay, I could do it, but here.
Yeah, that would have been second year against the Patriots.
Gotcha.
3 interceptions in that first half. Get reamed on the sideline by Daboll, go out and get knocked out of the game. It was at that point I knew, I was like, you know what, like, let's trust the guys around me. Like, I don't need to make every single throw that I see, and allow, you know, the 10 guys on the field to help me out. And just slowly and surely started taking that thought process and taking the easy ones. And when the big ones present itself, that's when you kind of go.
Yeah, okay, all right. And now, like, touch balls. You know, you become a really awesome touch thrower, timing thrower, loft the ball up, let the guy run under it. I mean, I saw some even practice today where it's just like, oh, wait, I got a little pressure on me and I got to throw like a deep cross off my back. Like, do you have a different thought process when you throw those type of footballs as compared to maybe when you're, like you talked about before, driving the ball?
Yeah, in terms of placement, it's just like, those don't need to be as precise, like right here. But again, it's give my guy a shot and not the other guy.
Yeah, right.
So it's float it towards the sideline, bring them back down, I try to limit as much overthrows as possible.
Yeah,
I hate overthrowing the ball. You know, tip balls, those typically get picked.
Right.
So as much as I can get them going towards the sideline, especially when there is pressure and I got to drop the arm angle, just them or nobody.
Put out in a place where they can go run and get it, and
yes,
hopefully they get it. If they don't, it's an incomplete pass.
Yes.
All right, so now the next thing I want to ask you about is like, you know, your scrambling ability, the backyard football. You know, you, Mahomes, Rodgers in his prime, like it's off the charts. Like,
you're saying Rodgers is out of his prime?
Well, no. Maybe not moving and scrambling. That's
gotcha.
what I was trying to say. I know, how dare he? Listen, I love Aaron Rodgers. He was my boy. He still is my boy. In a lot of ways, I say he's my favorite quarterback ever still. So don't get jealous, okay?
I'm taking, you said it.
All right. but yeah, how, you know, do you practice that? How do you practice chaos and backyard football?
Yeah, it's not like you can work as many scramble drills 7-on-7 as you want. That is the furthest thing from the real thing as possible.
Right.
And, you know, when we do that, it's just like, come on, guys. Like, I get it. Like, roll this way. Guys are going to work. But it's a trust in the guys when I do make something happen. And it happened a couple times in practice today. And we practice a little differently, like you saw today.
Yeah.
It's a little different than most places. But in terms of just, like, feeling it, like, and we all know, like, there's some longer developing routes where we want to take a shot, and I get the perfect defense.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing eyes here, it's like, all right, where am I possibly getting pressure from? Okay, I'm feeling pressure here. You know what? He just flew by. Go find room to find a new spot to throw the ball.
So you do give a good peek with your eyes to the rush and
in certain concepts.
Gotcha.
Now.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But so you know the play, whatever. But you'll look. You might see a guy get off to a good jump or coming around the edge, and you'll give it a definite look. It's not always just feel, right?
Yes, correct.
And then, like, when you're in that, and take us all into it, because I don't know. I played, and I certainly wasn't you, but like those things, that was blur to me. It was like a blur. I just saw, like, are you still like hyper aware of everything around you and being able to see down the field and knowing where everybody's at? Are you seeing clearly Von Miller coming around the edge, or do you just see color?
Sometimes it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's like clear as day, like it's step up. It's like I've got nobody out here.
Right.
Like I know I have time. Like you might give a little peek here just to feel anybody on your back. Sometimes you feel flash, and when you get down, you're like, okay, there might be a looper around here, so I got to get up more this way, get rid of the ball before that guy comes around the top.
Right.
And then again, yeah, the defenders, I feel like I do have a good grasp of that. And I think it's just my play style of how I've played since I was in Pop Warner, high school, college. Like, again, where I grew up, like in Pop Warner football, like you just didn't have linemen, you know, like it was just drop back and throw the ball, or find a way out and get to a different spot and throw the ball. So
you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
It's a natural practice skill just that was forced on you almost to a degree.
For sure.
Yeah. When you are in that moment and the chaos is around you, do you ever throw balls like blind? Do you go like, oh wait, I know where that guy's supposed to be, so I'm gonna just put it over here? Or do you still go, wait, I gotta see it real quick and then I'm gonna throw it?
I threw one blind football last year, and it was the divisional game to Dawson Knox.
The back of the end zone.
Yeah.
The great catch that I don't think you were throwing to him. You
I
mean
was
that
not
one?
throwing to him.
Right.
And I'll go on record. Like they dropped 8 in the coverage. They're only rushing 3. Van Noy added on late. Spence did a good job, and I was just kind of rolling out. And I saw Judon coming at me, and I was like, all right, hold on one more second. I might get this flag here. Just
right.
Hold on, throw it away, take a hit, maybe get the flag. And I got up, and it was so cold, like my ears were like basically numb and frozen. So I didn't hear like the crowd go crazy. And like I'm getting up, going back to the huddle, like 3rd down, here we go. And like all of a sudden everybody's walking off the field. I'm like,
wow.
I sat down, I literally go, what happened?
Yeah.
Like I had Dawson come over to me because they didn't show it on the big screen after the touchdown either. Like I don't even think they knew that we had scored.
Right,
you know?
Right. So you're that hyper aware that you knew Judon was coming and you might get a late hit or something like that, unnecessary roughness.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. That really is. Your workout regimen. That's the next thing I kind of wanted to go to. Just, what is it? Do you lift weights? You seem like you're just Johnny Country Strong, who like just is in shape and whatever else. But do you like lift, work out, do that type of stuff?
24/7. Every day in the off season.
You're full of it. You're
Yeah, it's. Listen,
well, tell me why. I mean, it's working.
Yeah,
so don't...
well, again, I think my play style is so much different than a lot of quarterbacks in the league. Like, after the season, I'm beat up physically.
Yeah.
Like, my body hurts, and this off season is actually the least amount of working out I did.
Right.
When I came back and I did our initial testing, I blew every test that I've ever done out of the water. And I just think it was allowing my body to rest and recover and actually like feel like it's the best I've ever felt right now. Moving, like, just in terms of how my body feels, it's the best I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And obviously, back in the training camp, back in the season, like lifting, that's what we do. It's 3-4 times a week. But in terms of like just my feel of my body, it's the best I've felt in a long time.
And like, do you consciously not want to, like, is it about like keeping your arm flexible, pliable? Is there anything like that
I
to
barely
it?
touch anything up top.
You don't really touch anything
I'll do
up
some
top.
dumbbell bench press, but I'm pushing 50s, 60s, maybe 70s if I'm feeling
nothing big.
Feeling good. Like
Right.
no barbell bench press. Really nothing up here. No military press.
Right.
And again, it's just allowing everything to kind of be pliable and flexible, like you're saying, and have some rubber bandiness to it.
Right. No leg squats, anything?
Squats, yeah. Heavy in the deadlift.
Heavy
Hex bar deadlift.
Yeah, okay.
And I've been a fan of hex bar deadlift. I trained coming out of the draft.
Trap bar deadlift?
Trap bar, yes.
Yeah, okay, got you.
With Ryan Flaherty, and he's done, like, he's the man. So Flair Bear, if you're watching, you're the man. That, in my opinion, like, we've talked about that a lot, and he's done some studies of how that drill, that lift, is the most like correlated to speed and like injury prevention and things of that nature. That's what I love to do, and I feel good doing it.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing. All right, so everybody know that I can bench press more than Josh Allen, just so we know that. I got him on something around
100%.
here. That's it. That's about all I got. Do you change anything or have a thought process in weather? Like, do you think of anything? Like, I've seen quarterbacks sometimes say, I try to, point the ball down, or I grip the ball less if it's rainy. Is there anything you think? I mean, because you played in a 70-mile-per-hour winds against the Patriots and still threw it right through it.
Yeah, so that, like, I know this is going to sound weird.
Yeah.
In the wind, like, you've got to focus as much as you can on throwing a spiral. Like, there's some games where, like, the ball's coming out good, but it's just like, all right, I got a flat there, and I can duck it out there if I want to. It's going to get there.
Right.
But when that wind is going, and if there's any tilt on that nose,
like, it's going to explode. Yeah.
I mean, if it's spinning, it's coming here. Like, and that's the thing of driving through the wind. I know, like, when the wind's with you, like, it's almost worse when the wind's with you, because when you're throwing a high trajectory ball, and also the nose is like this, and it's like, all right, you have no idea where this ball's going.
Right.
So it's almost more of a drive throw in the wind and keeping it that 1 or 2 ball and not really throwing the deep goes, because you have no idea.
And you just
but again, into the wind, again, you're just gonna have to throw a little harder, and aim a little more left, because that wind is just gonna tail off a little bit more.
Take it, and you just think about spinning it a little harder.
Yeah,
it's more of that little bit, right?
Yeah,
I got you. Okay, Derek Jeter, right? He just had like the captain show, right, and all that. And he was talking about, like, he keeps receipts on, like, the haters, and he knew all the people that doubted him, and that was kind of one of those things that drove him. Were you like that? Because I feel like even after year 2 and 3, it was still like, well, we're still not sold on his accuracy and all that kind of crap, right? Do you listen to that noise, or do you just block it all out?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
I'd love to say, like, I don't hear that stuff, I don't see that stuff, but it's absolutely, like, I know who has said what.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, this, that, like, it just pops up sometimes.
Yeah,
and
right.
You've got it on TV, and you've got it on the radio, and that's our job. Like, we get critiqued in the public like really no other job in the world. Maybe the president, you know.
Yeah, right.
But it comes with the territory, and at the end of the day, I know what I'm capable of. I knew what I was capable of back then. I knew that the Bills believed in that because they traded up to draft me.
Right.
And as long as I had the respect and the trust of my teammates, everything else was minutia. Like, I didn't care. But I still know what you said about me.
Yeah.
At the same time. But
So it's
I'm
a
out
little
here.
burning fire behind the
Correct.
scenes a little, but not like you don't go crazy.
It's not bad. Again,
personal
and
with it.
I expect so much out of myself.
Yeah.
I've said some really bad things to myself. Like, I am a negative self-talker.
Yeah.
That's how I light a fire under myself sometimes.
Right.
But
I'm the same way.
I'm also like, I feel like I'm very realistic in the sense of self-knowledge and understanding and not lying to myself. I think that's the worst thing you can possibly do is lie to yourself. So I try not to.
Right. All right. So you made the quote recently of like, and I'm paraphrasing here, but like, I want to own every aspect of football. And I can't remember it exactly off the top of my head, but I think you remember what you're saying. What did you mean by that?
Well, one, just like in terms of understanding defenses and coverages that people are trying to play against us,
right.
Knowing what their weak points are and certain concepts. If I get this coverage, okay, who am I IDing? Like, where are my eyes going to right at the snap?
Right.
And then in terms of situational football, like Coach McDermott, like there are so many different situations in every single game that you play in. It feels like there's a different situation that arises, whether it's 2-minute, 4-minute, end of half, end of game. Again, like what Coach McDermott preaches to us. We've got Toro situations, we've got red alerts, we've got bingo situations, we've got alter situations. Just knowing exactly why Dorsey is calling what he's calling.
Right.
And trusting that, and trusting Coach McDermott and what he's taught us, and going out there like, and to be trusted, not just by Dorsey and Coach McDermott, but my team.
Yeah.
To understand, like, Josh knows what he's doing. He understands what the situation is. There's 35 seconds left on the clock in the second half. We're trying to get a field goal. We can't go in bounds here. We need to get out of bounds. We have no time. Like, just the little nuances of football that sometimes gets overlooked in a game. And
so,
no, it's a lot to take in. There's so much involved with that answer. But just having a grasp of every situation when I step on the field, being prepared.
Right. You want to immerse yourself in every bit of it. I get that all the way. All right, you brought up McDermott, and this is like something I find like, so you said how you knew they liked you because they traded up for you, but also like he's a defensive coach. And I was always like, I wonder if he'll really ever go all in on the offense and Josh Allen and just let it go. When did you know like he had your back? Like he was going to break the mold of the defensive coach like a Tony Dungy with Peyton Manning and go, you know what, this dude's real. Let's just go and attack with it.
Yeah, I think part of season 3, he had talked to me and just said like, hey, like he told the captains like, this is your team. Like here, I'm giving you guys the keys. Like if you guys want to talk in meetings, like if you guys want to say this before games, like you guys do you. And like when you're on the field, like I trust you implicitly. Like take care of the football, score points. That's all that matters. So,
right.
When he said that to me, just allow me to play free and loose and be myself, and not be a robot of some sort. Where some systems are heel, toe, crossover, back foot, plant, throw.
Right.
It's just like you do you. Like why we drafted you is because of what you've done.
Gotcha.
And we want you to keep doing that. We don't want to change who you are and what you are as a player.
Right. When he's open, just throw it to him. We don't care if
That's right.
You took all the exact steps that are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's refreshing as a quarterback. I can
100%.
imagine that because I've kind of been in both, and I found it refreshing that way.
And I've heard stories. Again, we've had a lot of guys like Case Keenum's been in a lot of different systems.
Yeah,
Matt Barkley,
right.
Been in a lot of different systems, and like to hear stories about how their systems were, how concepts were ran. And they're getting here and like, dude, this is awesome. Like the respect that the coaches give us here, the leeway on the field of like, hey, like just figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it makes you feel like a grown man playing football.
Right.
And that's what we are. We're grown men playing football. You gotta let us be grown men.
Yeah. All right. You bring up, you brought up Dayball, and now it's Ken Dorsey, somebody who I was, playing in college football when he was
38-2.
At the U. What's that?
38-2.
38-2. I know. Damn. I don't like that because I was at Texas at the time and I wanted to play them and it didn't happen. They would have beat our butt anyways. But either way, what's that? Dayball was great. You got Dorsey, a guy Aaron Cromer as an offensive line coach who I was with in Tampa Bay for a little bit, who I got a lot of respect for. Like, what's the new sprinkle? What are they bringing to the squad here that may be different from Brian Dayball?
Yeah, I mean, I just think in terms of run game, we're going to be very, I'd say consistent in our approach to it.
Right.
Different thought process going into it. The lineman respect, like you talked about Coach Cromer, and just what he's been teaching them, the knowledge and the experience that he has. And then I know it's preseason, but coming out and playing the way we did last week,
Yeah.
and running the ball the way we did, like, guys start to buy in and start to believe that, and when things go the right way. So we got to keep building upon that. And again, we've got 3 really good backs in Devin, Zach, and Jimbo, and 2 guys that are, you know, fighting right now, and Duke and Raheem, that are just, they're putting everything they can into it, and they're looking really good out there. And as we continue to do that and get more confident with that, it's only going to help us on the field.
So with now, like, your own running ability, do you have a limit on it? I mean, what's your thought of QB power all the time? You just always like, coach, call it, I don't care?
I mean, the competitor in me is like, yeah, put the ball in my hands, for
Right.
sure. Now I understand, like, let those guys who get paid to run the ball.
Yeah.
But quarterback run game is so different. Like, we pick up an extra blocker, and it allows us to really outnumber teams that, how they play us, if you will. So I'm all for it. Again, I'd rather throw the ball and hand it off, but if I'm called to do it, I'll do it.
You're natural at it. I mean, it's like you played running back at some point in your life almost. So
First year of Pop Warner.
First year of Pop, yeah, because
yeah.
you read blocks and you know how to set them up, and it's quite impressive, really. It's a big time weapon. Enough of the quarterback mechanic stuff. Do you realize, like, where you are right now? Like you're the man. Like, you're like definitely one of the best quarterbacks in football, right? Has that like hit home to you? Do you ever think about it? Like, man, where have I come from? And I'm in this elite group of guys with, you know, the Bradys and Rodgers and Mahomes right now in the NFL.
It doesn't really sit with me like that.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, like, I'm doing what I love to do, being a quarterback for such a historic franchise here in Buffalo, and such a great fan base. And, you know, something I'm proud of is what I've been able to do off the field in the community here, and, you know, have the Patricia Allen Fund.
It's awesome.
Be able to help out Oshai Children's Hospital. And again, at the end of the day, I get to play football. So that's all I care about. And the one time it did hit me was obviously during the match.
Right.
You know, playing in that little golf deal with Tom and Aaron, who quarterbacks I've idolized my entire life and looked up to, and then playing with Pat, who we know what he's done so far in his career. So that was a little surreal to me, and I kind of even leaned over to Pat. I was like, this is freaking crazy. So, and he felt the same way.
Yeah.
But again, like, there's so much work to do and so many more accomplishments, you know, that I want to accomplish, and I want to bring a Super Bowl back here to Buffalo and allow these fans to enjoy that. So we got work to do.
Did you learn anything with those guys, just by being out there with Rodgers, Brady? Brady calling you a little chunky? How dare he?
How dare he? How dare he? He won't race me, though.
No, he won't. He won't. Definitely not.
He won't tackle me.
He won't do that either.
Whoop me.
No, he can't. I'll give you the edge there for sure. But along those lines, like, you know, you and Mahomes, like, that's the other thing that, to me as a football fan, I've been around it my whole life because of my dad, and I love it. And I joke and call myself Johnny Historian all the time. You know, I grew up in, like, Elway Marino era. And then, of course, was playing early on in, you know, Manning Brady era. Yeah, you seem very aware that it's like it seems like we're going down to the Mahomes Allen era right now. You know, what does that mean to you? What the relationship you have with him? It just seems unique, and, like, kind of explain that to us.
It's very unique, and I think it's kind of rooted, you know, how we grew up.
Right.
You know, both of us obviously were very doubted in our early NFL careers, and, you know, colleges, didn't go to the top premier college. I know he went to a little more prestigious college in Wyoming. Go Pokes.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, how we grew up, and we love the game of football. He plays the game like I feel like how I do, in terms of going out there and just having, like, we enjoy it. We enjoy being out there, and you can see him having fun with his teammates. And you know, we've got a lot of respect for each other, but I got so much respect for his game, and, you know, off the field as well, how he carries himself, how he handles himself. That it is such a unique situation, though, because, like you're saying, like, the media and the people, they want us to hate each other so much.
I know.
You know, and that's what it is, and that's what it's supposed to be. And
you want to beat his butt, but you
exactly.
really respect him and like the guy.
I respect him so much.
Right.
That could never happen. But yeah, when we're on the field playing against each other, it sucks. You know, he's a hell of a player, and he's got me a couple times, more than I've gotten him. So we got to find a way to
give him some payback.
Yeah.
Do you, you know, like, do you find yourself, like, I know with, like, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they would be like, you know, they didn't have highlights available right after the game, right? But they'd always talk about, like, the next morning they opened up the newspaper, just be like, what did he score that night? How did he play? Did they win? All of that. Do you, like, find yourself going home being like, let me see what Pat did today? Like, let me see what the Chiefs are doing. Is it like that?
No, not really. Honestly, like, I'm so focused on what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
That it's really like when we play our game, I go home though. I watch as much football. Like,
yeah, you're a fan.
I am a fan of football. I love watching good football. So anytime I'm home, whether it's Monday, I have guys over Monday nights. We watch the Monday night game. I watch it Thursday night. When it's on Saturday, I watch it Saturday. I don't watch as much college as I'd like to.
Yeah.
But again, when we have 1 o'clock games, and those 1 o'clock games are starting to slowly go away, we're getting some more Thursday nights, Monday nights, Sunday nights, and all that. But, you know, those 1 o'clock games here, we're done so early. Like, we get to watch that 5 p.m. slate and then the Sunday night game. And
yeah.
I'm always watching football, so I do appreciate, again, how he plays the game. But there's a lot of other guys in the league that I like to watch too.
So you're saying you're watching the pregame Sunday night football Night in America when I'm on, right?
Of course,
okay,
of course.
Just want to make sure. Okay, I just want to make sure you're my boy Blue. All right. Super Bowl. You guys are the favorites, the Super Bowl favorites, going to win the championship. You know, how do you handle that mentally? Do you embrace it or do you try to, like, ignore it?
Well, we don't care about that. Like, that's our goal. That's our expectation at the end of the day. Coach McDermott preaches playoff caliber. In order to win the Super Bowl, you got to make it into the playoffs. So everything that we do on and off the field is towards that goal to give us a chance to win the Super Bowl. And yeah, that's on everybody's mind. It doesn't matter if the media is saying that. It doesn't matter if coach is saying that. It's on our minds as a player and as a team. So that's what we're setting out to do.
Yeah. So first game of the year, we're going to be there. You know, Thursday night, kick off the NFL season, the Super Bowl champs. Like, you got to play them. You got to play this guy once before. Like, take us into what it's like to have to deal with Aaron Donald on a play-by-play basis.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I've never been toyed or manhandled the way I've ever been with him.
He threw you to the ground.
I stepped back and I went to step up, and he literally just one-handed yanked me back this way, and it was like it took me, like, I had to watch it a couple times to, like, understand how he did that, because I'm not a small person.
Right.
And for him to do that one-handed while he's getting blocked and just to rip me down, it's ridiculous. Like, you've got to double team him. You have to know where he's at on the field at all times. Like, he's a monster. He is, and he's one of the, if not the best player in football, and he's been that way for the last 6-7 years. And you have to have a plan when you play against him. So I've got a lot of respect for his game. We share the same financial advisor.
Oh, jeez.
So, you know, hopefully he takes it a little easy on me if he gets to me and sets me down gently.
I doubt it. You're both rich. I'd like to be your financial advisor. You know, you got to play him, you know, the time I referred to the one time. So he threw you down. How much do you weigh right now? Like, if you don't mind me asking.
245.
245?
Around there.
Okay, there's a little chuckle there. Maybe 250 some days.
Well, I gave you actually the high end. I'm probably around 240, but I wanted to make the story sound better.
Okay, cool. All right, yes. I mean, he sounds stronger.
Yeah.
But you did get him back in that game. I mean, he threw you to the ground, but what was it, a 3rd and 18? I'm just pulling this off the top of my head.
Something
you
crazy.
You were right here,
yeah.
3rd and 18.
Well, I got a face mask on somebody, and then I went to throw it away, and he was right there, and I just...
You somehow got out of it.
He was in the air. He wasn't going for me, so I don't even count that for me. But I somehow got the ball away. We ended up going back 15 yards. But, yeah, that game was a roller coaster emotions, up 28-3, then going down 34-28.
Right.
And then scoring on that last drive to Tyler Croft. That was pretty sweet.
Right. Look at you. You're trying to butter him up already, that he's in the air so he doesn't hit you and all that stuff. Hey, you're the man.
All right.
I think you see that? Wait, let's do that again. Peter King, let's see that. Boom. Oh, we had the point there too?
Yeah,
okay, I'll do the point. Okay. Oh, I got to get better on that.
There you go.
There we go.
Like that.
And let's just shake like Peter King. Hello, Peter. How are you?
Go
You're the
Bills.
man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.